Alex, get off your phone.
Whoopsies, it's just a habit.
Knock that off.
My bad, just one more TikTok.
Aren't you supposed to be recording a podcast right now?
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Life Talks podcast. This is episode 1, and I'm your host, Alex Garcia. For today's podcast, we will be talking about how to break your phone addiction. As our daily statistic, did you know, according to Cross River Therapy, about 1.65 billion people had nomophobia, a psychological condition where people have a fear of being detached from mobile phone connectivity. We have here with us one of our listeners, Sharisa Gwasan, who is calling in to talk to us about her experiences with phone addiction.
Hello.
Hi, Sharice. This is Alex from Life Thoughts Podcast. Thank you for calling in today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Well, let's get started. How often would you say you use your phone?
Probably around 8 hours a day because of the times I watch shows or scroll through social media.
I was just doing the same thing. I mean, back to the topic. Do you think your phone affects you socially?
I think it does affect me because I don't feel as social as I used to. And now I feel less likely to want to talk to other people from all the sleep deprivation caused by staying up on my phone.
Thank you for sharing, Sharice. As you've stated, being on a screen can help you ignore the people physically around you. I'm here with my friend Blake, who had an interesting strategy to reduce his screen time. Blake, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the most effective strategies I have used to reduce my screen time is by making my phone screen monochrome. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly recognize changes in my mood and energy level when I'm in a room with walls that are painted bright, vivid colors versus darker colors. With this in mind, I stumbled across a TikTok that suggested that putting my phone screen in monochrome, black and white, would help reduce my screen time by reducing the appeal of the screen itself. I was a little skeptical, but I tried it out and I was immediately surprised by its effect.
That's really interesting. How did turning your screen black and white actually benefit you?
Yes, there were a couple effects. First, I felt lost. Since I reduced the color of my screen, I felt very disoriented on my phone. What I mean by that is I knew where all my apps were, but it felt really different. I was no longer in my comfort zone. It's kind of a similar feeling to getting a new phone entirely. It's kind of when you're feeling new and overwhelmed. Now keep in mind, everything on the phone was the exact same. I just removed the color. The second thing is that people actually caught on. Now, my friends know that their technology use is an issue, and they were completely surprised because this was a totally new way of taming their habit. With that being said, one of those friends was actually Arena. Hey, Arena.
Hey, Blake. Well, first of all, when I turned on the grayscale on my phone, I noticed that social media became a lot less entertaining. Without all those bright, vivid colors, it wasn't as appealing. Also, the blue light from the screen, it usually kept me awake. But now, with the grayscale, I was getting better and healthier sleep. Without the need to be on my phone, I started spending more time with my little sisters and doing more of my favorite activities. So overall, I would say that grayscale really helped me a lot.
Thanks for that amazing insight, Blake. Arena, do you have any other ideas on how to change your mindset?
Yeah, Alex. Well, firstly, I would say you have to first be aware that it's actually an issue that's affecting you. Because most people that are addicted to their phone, they don't even realize it and they kind of just ignore it. But I think the most important part to do for yourself is to know what you're doing and how you want to spend the time. For example, think about things you enjoy doing instead of using your phone, and try new things. Look for new opportunities. I've found if there's people attached to something, it really helps. For example, I became an executive member of TSA, and that gave me a lot more motivation and passion about it. I use my screen time to promote the club and generate ideas. So, in this way, I was able to use my screen time for a good purpose.
Thank you, Arena. Last, but certainly not least, I have Vita with me. Vita, how can people shed light on phone addiction?
Hi, Alex. First, be vulnerable with the people you're around, like sharing your story with others and letting it be known that you are struggling. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. Understanding and realizing that you have a phone addiction is already a step in the right direction. Ask for help and use some of the methods previously mentioned to help get back on track.
I appreciate that, Vita. And with that, it's a wrap. I would like to thank Sharice, Blake, Arena, and Vita for their time. We hope to see you in our next episode.